it was just a novelty when they would come through. I mean, people would drive along just wherever they were camped out just because they were nosy, I guess, and wanted to see what they looked like. But
my memory of the gypsies were that up north of town, just across the railroad track, they used to camp up there. There's a big open field there just south of where the cemetery is now.
when I was a little girl, I remember they traveled in big wheeled wagons, and they would camp out across the road from where I was raised in a field. And I know that my mother was more or less afraid of them, and she would make us go inside the house and wouldn't be out when they were camped across the road from our house. The ones I remember wore like long peasant-looking skirts, and their tops were kind of like peasant blouses. They liked very ornate things. They liked lots of ruffles and jewelry. The more jewelry they could put on, because I can remember I'd never seen a lot of jewelry when I was little, and I remember they had rings on almost all their fingers, or maybe on all their fingers, and lots of jewelry and lots of color. And that always kind of fascinated me, because they were just overdressed and over with the jewelry and so on and so forth. They made a living by fortune telling. They did it with a crystal ball, or with cards, or they'd read your palms. They would set up, and they would go through town, and they would charge so much for to read your palm or to tell you what your future was.
In fact, the Queen, which is buried up in the cemetery I mentioned, she predicted that Marshall would never be hit by a tornado or anything. They've been back here, I don't know how many times, and have to look on the stone out there, but there's been several they brought back and buried besides the Queen. There's, I don't have any idea how many, maybe 3 or 4, maybe more than that. Those gypsies, it's a time of celebration, and they would just parade around that casket. They sat out in the middle of the room, and they would throw money into it, and all kinds of jewelry and valuables they'd throw into that. And I don't remember, but there's a reason they do that. When the gypsies came from the funeral home and brought the remains out there, that they set it on the pier, and then they requested that the casket be opened before they put it in the grave. And they went around and around it, dancing and singing, and threw more money and stuff in it. That's about all I can remember or to tell you about them.
It was just an interesting time period, and I wish I'd have been older so I could have remembered more about it.
Sredskerdjom od sveto, prikrđom